Good day guys, my name is Lord Tomo. Welcome again to another Sonic the Hedgehog toy item collector review. As you know, I'm Lord Tomo and Sonic just fell. Let's get into the review, shall we? This is a Sonic Boom Tails Super Deformed Head. Now, for those who are new or for those who have been keeping track, Tomy is a partner corporation, a major partner corporation with Sega, and they essentially are creating copious amount of toys and plushes, and this is one of them. And boy, do I love these so much. So essentially, this is the Tail version. Now, if you want to check out the Sonic one, it's the one previous there. It's the previous video, but this is the Tails version. So essentially, the gimmick line for the series is they're essentially the characters of the Sonic Boom-esque Seagull Sonic world, depending on which universe you're really following. And they essentially have massive heads with miniaturized deformed bodies. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. And I need to say this straight out of the bat, these are phenomenal. I absolutely love this series in its all incarnations in terms of the plush line. Now, there are other companies that do make Sonic licensed merchandise and whatnot, but in terms of plushes, I think for this particular series, the mini deformed head ones, 8. So great stuff. Now let's go through the ins and outs of the actual plus and give you my general feedback on this. Of course, as you already heard, I love it. But of course there is small little nitpicks that I do have, and of course we will address them as normal. Now this is in line with the Sonic Boom universe in that Sonic has obviously, or all the characters, most of the characters have like bandages effect. That's kind of its nick, it's kind of its gimmick for the Sonic Boom line, and this is no exception. The only major difference is you have, of course, binoculars, a little wrap there, and just a few other things here and there. So yeah, let's address it. So his head is actually war stuffed, very plump, very big. I absolutely love that. And you have, of course, his little whiskers there, which is just a flimsy little material, but it does its service, and it's phenomenal. I was bouncing more or less on the idea because I know Calton years ago, like 20 odd years ago, created a Tails plush where they actually used like kind of like a soft material to give the whisk, and I was bouncing on the idea is if that would suit this plush. To be honest, not necessarily. This one, the way it's designed, its actual whiskers is the perfect way it should have been done, and it's done quite superbly, to say the least. You have, of course, his mouth, very smoky, very nice, adorable. You have, of course, his nose, very small, very plump for the most part. Nothing too hardcore there, but I think it does alright. And he's got this very well sculpted snout of sorts, which is very harmonious to the actual character itself. Love that. Of course, you have his eyes, which are stitched on, so they're not like the GE Generations one, where some of them actually have like eye impressed stickers of sorts, or eye impressed forms to make the eyes. These are actually stitched, so the lastability of this is going to be for years if you take good care of it. And of course his overall eyes are pretty much stitched. Well, superb. Love that, very superb. Now you have his little fringe, which is literally just a material, and I think for the series and what they're aiming for, absolutely great in terms of what they're going for. Like I said, it would have been fluffy, the Carlton generation one. For those who are not too sure about what I'm talking about, check my previous videos. I did a Tails Carlton version where they have a lot of like fluffiness to it, but this is very well sculptured. His binoculars, pretty much just hard material and material just to give, which circulates all over his head. Now this is just me being a nitpicky person. The binoculars don't take anything away from the plush. My preference would have been if they had like plastic, just to give a more of an authentic look to it. Like I said, it's purely a nitpick thing. It doesn't take anything away from it. It's just a preference. And of course you have his big ears, and I thought initially they weren't well stuffed when I've received it, but superbly well done. Absolutely love it. So his head sculpt is superb. Now if you flip it around, it's exactly the same. Now I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that's the actual tag. Now most of my major criticism when it comes to plushes is they always put tags in the most obscure, nonsensical places ever. In this case, I'm going to have to give it a pass, but it's still annoying for several reasons. In that, I prefer if they put the actual tag where the actual tag on the actual body is. However, due to the size, if you put it there, the fact that it will be incredibly hard to actually basically pose or just have him stationed somewhere with the other plushes is going to be there. And I figured, you know what, for this exception, for the plush line series, okay, it makes sense why they'll need to put into the actual ear itself, because if you put it here, it wouldn't sit properly, it would just be over the place, it will bend, it will break. And for collectors like myself, for example, that would just take away everything from the actual line itself. That's you know, it's kind of one of those double-edged swords, give and take sort of thing. The other major nitpick I have, of course, you have, it's obligatory for information, and you have of course Tomy up there, just there you go, Tomy up there, is the fact that it says Sonic Boom Tails. Of course, this is Tails, this is Sonic, so why couldn't you make the effort to actually have a picture of Tails instead of Sonic? Now, I get why they do it, because, you know, you want to sell plushes of, you know, Sonic generations, but I think we reached a point where if you don't know the basic characters of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik, then there's no real point in you really picking up any other plush other than, of course, Sonic. So I would have preferred them to have a picture of Tails instead of Sonic, because for myself and other collectors, one of the people in the know-how, they know who this character is. But, you know, for parents who may not know, it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm sure they've done research and it makes sense, but yeah, I would have preferred that. So that's Tails. Now let's get to the actual body itself. The body, I think, is by far one of the ones that are well captive in terms of how it's done its overall design. You have his miniature little hands, which are absolutely adorable, and of course they're all crunched up as if he's ready to punch somebody's face in. I would have preferred an open hand, you know, opposed to the closed, but it is what it is. And they're exactly the same on either side. The only difference is the thumbs point out in its corresponding sides. I think it's a little nice. Of course, it's extremely well stuffed, but of course, the more you get to the pivot points, which is also happens on the actual feet and the tails, it loses its fullness. Now, that's mainly because it needs to move around. Of course, if it's full, it will just look like a, you know, stuffed snowman with absolute zero movability. So it's kind of a give and take sort of thing. Of course, you have his belt buckle strap. That's the best way to describe it. Now, I'm hard pressed to know what it is. It doesn't feel like it's iron pressed material. It feels like, it doesn't feel like it's stitched. I think it's a combination of both in a way, but I'm probably going to say it's an iron pressed design. And you have, of course, this well sculptured buckle there. Small nitpick. I know it doesn't take anything away from this, and it's pretty design and cost effectiveness. I would have preferred if this was kind of like just like a button, a middle button, just to give it a more, you know, 3D symmetric vibe to it. But like I said, it doesn't take it. It's just purely my preference. And of course, the straps go all around, which is extremely phenomenal. Attention to detail. I think it's great. Now, of course, you have his feet, and this is one of the criticisms I personally have. Now, the feet itself are superbly done and sculpted for the design and for the fact that it's Sonic Boom, and it's got its strap. Regardless, for those people who may or may not like it, it is what it is, right? Now, the design of these plushes are in that they're not going to be able to stand up physically by themselves. It's more going to be in a cutesy sort of pose. I know that's pretty interesting word that I won't use it, and it'll be sitting down. I would have preferred if they carried over the actual straps underneath the shoes, just to give them more of a better I wouldn't say I'd say posability, better posability viewing, because when he sits down, because unlike the other plush designs where you have like a strap where you can actually hold it, if you hold it like that, for example, if he had a strap, it would work so much better, because you can all have him pretty much hanged up, right? But this doesn't have a strap, so it's going to sit down, and if you sit down, you can see how the overall plush looks great. It's just the feet, soles don't really add to it. And like I said, it's a nitpick, but I feel it's a honest criticism that I need to give it, because it is what it is, you know what I mean? Anyway, so on the back you have his two tails, absolutely adorable, small, and if you can look at it from a very weird perspective, these tails cannot lift this big booty or small booty tails character up there. But it's the nature of the design. It's a deformed head, so the head's bigger than the body. Extremely well stuffed, except the pivot points. Of course, if it was full, it would look pretty clunky and fat, and so it was more or less a design choice, which I think was great. I have no issues with that, and attention to details on this is exactly phenomenal and whatnot. And of course, you have his little tag up there which says Sonic Boom. So that's my overall review on this. Look, to be honest, I think this series is absolutely phenomenal. I have the Sonic one, I have the Tails, obviously, I have the Robonic, Dr. Beno, whatever you want to call it, and Knuckles. And they've kind of semi-announced gonna release eventually Cubot, Orbot, Stitch, Metal Sonic, Shadows, and those are the ones I can recollect in the mo. And I think this series is absolutely phenomenal. I truly do. It's and this is coming from a guy that I think 2 years ago I said I would never collect plush. But the fact that companies are coming out with superb plush designs of the Sonic universe, it's a plus. It truly is. Of course, there's small nitpicks here and there, you know, but it is what it is. Now, it's going to set you back. It depends on where you buy it from. I bought it as a bundle with a whole bunch of other stuff, so it's set me back about, I think it was $13, $15. It's a little steep depending on the person you are. Do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. Do I honestly think and recommend it to everybody else out there? I think it is, because the simple fact is it's adorable, it's cute, and the fact that it's non-intrusive to anybody's collection. It's not a massive plush, so it's not going to take up a lot of room, and it's a very nice display piece if you basically have them all lined up, which I will eventually do. So it has a lot of advantages that outweigh the minute disadvantages, which is obviously the birds, but it is what it is. Rarity, 1 star out of 10. It is coming. I don't know what it is going to be in the future. You can buy in most places, Target, Walmart, I'm pretty sure. I got it online, obviously, because Australia, you know, to say the least. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out this review. Let me know if is this a series that you guys are into? I think I am. I'm going to review the rest anyway, regardless of what you guys may think. Anyway, guys, take care, speed on. Until next time.